I would imagine buying snare drums and drums in general, as with anything, is you spend a little bit and then you spend a little bit more, and then you find that that wasn't too bad, so then you spend a bit more, and then suddenly you're spending 672 quid, and you go, bloody hell, that was a lot of money. I have a few drums, I have a few snare drums, I have a few drum kits actually, as you may have noticed. But the whole point of me starting this channel 8 years ago or whatever it was really, I took my inspiration from Jay Leno's garage. And now that you know that, Dave Bateman's shed kind of doesn't seem quite so, you know, original, does it? But the whole point really was to share my drums, share some of the stories behind my drums, share some of like the stories of how I got them or what I've used them for, and also let you hear what they sound like. And I'd like to think that over the years maybe the sound quality and hopefully the storytelling has got a little better to the point where you can enjoy it. But I've got a few stories which I've probably told before, but I thought for the next few weeks what I'd do is I would share some of those stories again. I'd retell those stories just as the stories, just as something a bit of fun really. So over the next few weeks what you'll see is a couple of stories, a few stories about some of my drums, some of their experiences, and well, in some instances what I went through to actually buy them. So I hope you enjoy. I've got a couple of sort of purchases that I made that I kind of like. I mean, there was one or two that made me wince, I mean, the first. So I mean, taking it back a little bit. So the first time I kind of spent what I thought was a lot of money was on my Spawn 24 ply maple, it's a 14x6 I think, and that cost me I think it was £672 many years ago now, I don't know, 15 odd years ago. And that, oh yeah, I mean I think I've still got the tag for that somewhere actually. You know, it's a great snare drum. It's not a snare drum I use very often, mainly because if you've had any experience of thick applied shells, and I'm not kidding that the shell is about that thick, they tend to generally do one thing and one thing only, and that's kind of upper register a little bit. So it kind of, you know, it's got a specific sound. It's a lovely drum. It's a lovely looking drum actually. That was one of the first videos that it was like a test video that I did when I started doing all this about 8 years ago. Even playing around with the colour settings, I could never quite get just how wonderful that drum is. It's kind of a purple. It's like a purple to black fade with black hardware. Lovely drum. But you know, that drum was that was a real considered purchase, that was, because I'd never spent that much money on a single drum up until that point. And it's like I've never done drugs, thankfully, because I'm perfectly capable of being an arse without them. But I would imagine buying snare drums and drums in general, as with anything, is you spend a little bit and then you spend a little bit more, and then you find that that wasn't too bad, so then you spend a bit more, and then suddenly you're spending 672 quid, and you go, bloody hell, that was a lot of money, and then suddenly the jump to 1,000 is a lot less, and it's gone that way ever since, really, you know. But I think that was my first big snare drum purchase, and